guys, what are we doing? We talking about Barry today. Which, yeah, obviously we talk about Barry every Tuesday. That's what this whole freaking podcast is about. But today, you guys, today is a special day because we talking about season 3. It's finally out, and when I tell you guys, I am so I don't even know what the word is, like happy, excited, relieved that we actually got a season 3. Of course, I knew that it was coming, but at one point we didn't know if we were going to get another season. And the fact that it's finally here after like nearly what 3 years. Oh my god, you guys, like so excited. Let me just check real quick, make sure that you guys can hear me, that I'm good on Facebook because you guys know what happened with my first episode. I just want to make sure that I'm all good before we even jump into all that stuff. Um, I'm gonna go through the whole first episode of season 3, or at least most of it, or the parts I felt like were the best, or highlights of it. I guess if you guys haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be talking spoilers, so I'm gonna just let y'all know. Don't get mad at me. Okay. I'm gonna just let y'all know. I'm gonna be talking about pretty much everything from this episode. So I suggest if you have not seen it yet, go watch the episode and then come back and watch my podcast. Unless you really don't care about being, the spoilers, then have at it. But me, I do not want any spoilers. And I'm so glad that I did not read certain articles that I know spoiled what was going to happen in probably like the first couple episodes, because I was genuinely surprised. There are two major things that happened in this episode that like had me like giddy. And then there was one of the things I was like, whoa. But the other thing, I think you guys know, if you've seen the episode, you already know what I was like, oh my God, like Raven Baxter scream. That's what I was doing when I saw this. So okay, let's just get into it. Let's just start from the very beginning. So opening shot was Barry in this deserted area, and we obviously seen that in the trailer. That was like the official poster for season 3, so we had already seen that. And I don't know if I was the only one, but I feel like we were all kind of like, well, what does this mean? Like, he has a shovel. Like, is he burying somebody? Blah, blah, blah. So now we see that he was doing a hit. That's why he was out in that deserted place, which, by the way, very nice, like cinematography this whole episode, because it was directed by Bill Hader. And I know I'm like, it's like, what do I know about cinematography? I don't know anything about filming or shooting a TV show, but just looking at it was really nice. Like certain scenes, you could tell that there's like actual thought and intention behind it. So anyway, that first shot was actually really pretty, like the background. And then we see Barry sitting there like eating a donut, just very casual, and all you hear in the background is like somebody screaming for help. And so I think immediately, like that first scene, that opening scene, we see where Barry is at mentally, and we're like, okay, like he's clearly not okay. And he's to the point now where he could sit there and eat breakfast and somebody's like screaming for help and he's about to do a hit and it's just nothing to him. Like he's completely numb. And the guy that ordered the hit is there and he's like, I want you to cut off his eyelids. And Barry's just like, okay, and like goes to get tools for it. Like he was really gonna do it. That's the part that's scary to me, where I'm like, really, that's what you were gonna do? And to him it wasn't even like, oh, that's disgusting or that's horrible. That was just like an extra chore for him to do that. And so again, that shows where he's at mentally and how gone he is and how lost he is. And so, to make a long story short, he ends up shooting both guys, and he shot them like it was nothing. We've seen him do that in previous seasons, but you can tell, I think, much more now that he really just like does not care. And what's crazy is that when that happened, like I knew as the guy was talking, I knew, I was like, Barry's gonna end up shooting both of them, but I still jumped when that happened. I don't know why. I knew that was gonna happen and I still jumped anyway. But yeah, I seen that coming for sure. So that's where Barry is. Barry is awful, and we could just already tell that he's gonna be really awful this season. And I don't know if I'm going to be rooting for him anymore, to be honest. I mean, if something happens to him, like, yeah, I'll probably like kind of feel bad because he is the main character. But for the most part, I don't have that same empathy for him like I did in the first season, or where I kind of viewed him differently that first season because, like I talked about, I think in my first or second podcast episode, how he has this like he has kind of sort of like this innocence to him in the first season, and you could tell how out of touch with reality he was. I mean, I guess you could say he still is, but it's just completely different now. And now it's just like, there's no defending him. Of course, there's going to be people that are still going to defend him and say, well, he had to do this. But I'm just like, no, like this guy, it's not funny, but like this guy belongs in a mental institution. Like he seriously needs help. And that's something he even admits to in the episode. There's a scene where he talks to Hank and he literally says, I need help. So I don't know why he's going to Hank for help. I feel like I'm like, dude, go to a doctor. Like, this is not okay. Um, but before I even get into that scene between him and Hank, because one of my, actually, no, not even one of my favorite scene, probably like the best scene in that episode to me. So I don't want to jump to that real quick. I kind of just want to go through like the beginning and what happens and where we see each character at. So, um, let's jump into Sally's character. So Sally has her own show now, and I'm not sure if the TV show is called Joplin or if that's her character's name on the show, because we see that she's sitting there with her binder and it closes and it just says Joplin and it says like season 1, episode 3 or something like that. So I'm not sure if that's the name of her show, but it looks like the show is based off of her real life and based off of the abusive relationship that she was in when she was a teenager, because there's a moment where we see two actors acting out kind of like what we saw in season 2, like the scene that she had did with Barry, and like the guy throws her on the table and she's kind of like directing it and saying like, oh, it should be this way. And so I feel like she probably, like I was kind of thinking anyway, she probably got the show after performing that scene. And I feel like that's probably what the show is about, probably about her being in an abusive relationship, and maybe her, I'm assuming it's about like her kid kind of being in an abusive relationship too or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see more of that as the season goes on, but clearly she's in a much better, I would say a much better space than Barry is. She's still Sally, she's still self-absorbed, probably going to be even more so this season because I mean, she's like in Hollywood now, like she's technically made it. So, I guess we're going to see how much that's going to change her character. Is that going to be like, is that going to be her downfall, like actually making it and having an acting career? I don't know. I feel like she's going to be kind of brutal this season, whereas I felt like season 2, I think a lot of us gained a little bit more empathy for her because of her backstory, and we found out kind of why she is the way that she is. But I feel like all that is about to be reversed now. Now we're going to go back to being like, oh God, Sally, like, girl, what are you doing? And the other reason why I say that too is because there was a very small scene where she's talking to Natalie, which was one of the other girls in the acting class, who's kind of playing like her assistant now. I guess she's taking on the role of being her assistant, and the way she kind of talked to her was messed up. And you could see on Natalie's face that she was trying to kind of just like smile through it, and she kind of just took it. And I feel like if she's already acting that way now, like this is the beginning of the show that she's doing this, I'm not looking forward to how she's gonna be by like the middle of the season or the end of the season. So that's where Sally is. Sally is in Hollywood. Sally is acting. She has her own show now. And she's still with Barry. I kind of feel like at this point, like she would want to move on from Barry and maybe like be with somebody else, like be with somebody who's on her level, or just be single, and so she could focus on her career. So I'm kind of like, I'm wondering what's going to happen with them. I mean, I feel like their relationship was doomed from the beginning because Barry is obviously a hitman, and we know that Sally she's had an abusive relationship in the past, and she doesn't want to be with somebody like that. So if she really knew the type of guy he was, that would have never happened. So it's like it's not going to last. You know, they're going to break up at some point, but I'm just wondering, like, is it going to be from her end because she's, you know, popping off now, like she got her own thing going, or is it going to be from Barry's end? Like, is she going to find out about him? I don't know. I feel like whenever she does, she's going to be sick about it. So I'm kind of scared to see if it's going to happen that way. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping she breaks up with him before that, just to be like, hey, I need to focus on my career. And like, you know, you're obviously not really focused on anything. So, you know, I kind of got to do me. Peace out. Like, I'm kind of hoping she does that. But then at the same time, I'm scared that if she does break up with him, that could kind of set Barry off. I mean, even even more so than what he already is right now. Um, I mean, because he doesn't have the acting class anymore. That's, you know, that's gone. He doesn't have Kusuno on his side anymore. Kusuno knows that Barry killed Moss. He doesn't have Fuchs anymore. Not that he really wants him back. And if he loses Sally, he really won't have anybody on his side. I mean, I guess you could say maybe Hank still would be on his side, but Hank is currently mad at him for good reason. So now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. But I kind of want that to happen. I kind of want Sally to be the one to break up with him, but I'm also afraid of the repercussions of that. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, let's get into our favorite character, Noah Hank. I'm saying R because I know a lot of people, you know, love him like I do. He's definitely a fan favorite amongst the show. So we see him with the few Chechens that are left, because after you know, Barry shot up the monastery in season 2, most of his men are dead. So it's kind of just Hank and like a few, like a, you know, few group of a few people in his group basically. And you know, he gets told that like, hey, the police want to interrogate you. You know, they have questions for you. And it's funny because Hank is kind of like, he's like, oh, I'm legit nervous, but really you could tell he's excited. And I feel like maybe that's like I don't know, maybe that's like a rite of passage for a mobster to get, you know, interrogated. Is kind of like, you know, that's going to happen at some point. And clearly, because the investigation is still open with Moss, and then with the monastery shooting, you know, like, there's going to come a point where they're going to make connections and see that, you know, other people were involved in this. And so, yeah, so of course he's getting interrogated, and and this is kind of like where we get like some of that comedy coming into the show, because he's not really taking it seriously. You know, at first he's denying that he has anything to do with it. And then he goes into, okay, I'll tell you who it is. And he points to Fuchs. But he doesn't call him Fuchs, though. He calls him the Raven. So he gives him like this funny nickname, and even the cops and the detective are like, really, dude, like, we know, like, you're lying. You're playing with us. You're playing in our face, basically. And he just like, he looks like he's just having fun, to be honest. It's hilarious. But in this moment too, we see that he finds out that Barry pretty much like threw him under the bus. He put that pin that Hank had given him in the trunk where Moss's body was found. And so that pin obviously, you know, led back to Hank. And so now he knows that like Barry pretty much like sold him out. And so you kind of see on his face where he's like, wow, like really, you know? And but I guess he plays it cool for the most part. He kind of just is like, you know, it's this Fuchs dude, although he doesn't say Fuchs, but that's who he's kind of blaming the shooting on, which makes me a little confused, because now I'm like, is Hank trying to, I don't know, like, is he trying to cover for Barry, or is he just trying to like cover for himself, or is he really trying to help Hank, not Hank, is he really trying to help Fuchs out? Because after that scene, it's a perfect transition into where Fuchs is at, and Fuchs is still hiding out from Barry. He's in Chechnya, and I'm assuming Hank probably was like, go to Chechnya and like, you know, they'll take care of you, whatever, hide out for whatever, as long as you want to, until all of this blows over. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, does he really have Fuchs's back when he's saying that the shooting was like on Fuchs? Like, I'm kind of confused about that. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go, what Hank is going to do. If the police continue to investigate him, or if he gets interrogated again. I'm not sure if he's going to keep blaming Fuchs, or if he's going to kind of like switch up and be like, actually, no, it was Barry. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's still, even though Hank is mad at Barry, I feel like he still has this like fondness for him, or kind of, I don't know. I don't know what other word you would describe. Like I feel like he still kind of cares for him. So I don't really see him throwing Barry under the bus, unless it's something where he's really just like, nah, like I can't have your back on this. So we'll see about that. But anyway, with Fuchs, he's in Chechnya, um, making a bowl of cereal. So he's clearly like not in a good place. He's looking rough. He's looking haggard. Um, and I don't know what he's gonna do. Like he can't hide out forever. So of course at some point he's gonna have to come back. And if Barry sees him, like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. So but I can't say I feel bad for him though. I really don't. But this is kind of funny to me that like this is where he's this is where he's ended up now. He's in all the way in Chechnya, and he's literally hiding from Barry, the one person that he had in his life, and the one person I would say the one person that he could always kind of control. Like he kind of always had this control over Barry, because Barry was always doing what Fuchs wanted. And now that it's not that way, it's like Fuchs doesn't know how to function without that. But like I said, I don't really feel bad for him. I just feel like it's kind of funny. But I am kind of like scared for him. Like if Barry sees him, or if he comes back to the States or whatever, and they have a run in, I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm scared. I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I'm really scared for every character that has a run in with Barry at this point, because Barry is off his rockers. Like if y'all have not seen the episode, you got to watch it to really see how crazy really see how crazy this man is now. Like if you thought he was crazy in season 1 and season 2, I don't know. I don't even know what else is going to happen. So, yeah. But before I move on to the next scene, I just want to let you guys know that this podcast is sponsored by Stream Media. And if you want to check out their studio, go to studio.stream.com. Stream is spelled with 2 N's. And yeah, you can check out all their cool little features. If you're a content creator, if you're trying to be a content creator, I would definitely suggest using their platform. It's really easy to use. And if you want to make your own podcast, if you want to go live, do your own streams, tag me in them if you use Stream Studio. I would love to watch. I would love to support. And you could go live and definitely go through every social network the way I'm able to go live through Facebook. You could do that too, or you could pick another social network if you'd like to. And so yeah, don't forget to tag me if you guys use Stream Studio, because I really want to see the type of stuff that you guys create. And yeah, let's get back to the scenes. So I'm looking at my notebook because I had to take notes when I was watching the episode. Because I feel like it's only 30 minutes, but I feel like so much happened just in the one episode. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So one of the other, going back to the whole like cinematography thing that I felt like was such a cool aspect of this whole episode. And I feel like that will be definitely reoccurring throughout the season, because I believe Bill directed 5 out of the 8 episodes, I think. So I think we'll really see like we'll be able to watch the episode and see that Bill directed it. Like I feel like he has a certain style, and a lot of when he directs, you could tell he wants to make it cinematic because he has such a love for films. Even though this is a TV show, he's definitely making it look like a film. It's like A grade quality basically. So there is a scene with Sally, and she's on set for her show, and it starts off I really wish I had like the proper terminology to explain this stuff, but I don't. So the camera starts off like way back here, and we see Sally on set, and as she's walking through the set, and it's just like this one long shot. As she's walking through the set, the camera comes in closer and closer and closer to her. And that scene was really, really cool. I know a lot of people like that and could tell that style was from Bill. And then the one moment that I really loved, and it's a very small moment, is like she's going through the studio set, and like everybody's talking to her. They're like, what should you wear, and how should this be set up and stuff, because it's her show, so it's kind of like whatever she wants and stuff. And she's trying to like read over the script and remember her lines, and all these people are just yapping in her ear. And there's a moment where she stops and everything goes dark, and then there's like this red lighting in the background, and it's almost like it was like her moment to just take a breath and then all of a sudden the lights come back on and she's walking forward onto the set again. And that moment was like, I don't know why, I just really love that moment. I was like, that was really cool, the way that that was shot. um and yeah, I don't know, I just really like that. I don't even know like how to describe that, like in what words to use, but if you've seen the episode, then you obviously know what I'm talking about. That was a really cool moment, just like visually. um Along with that first opening shot of the episode, where we see, like I said, where we see Barry out in that deserted area, and the background is like really pretty because you can see the sky, you can see that it's kind of like sunset. So you have little moments like that where you could see that, like, the visuals are like really, really, really nice. And yeah, and then we have this like weird moment where Barry comes with flowers, and it's clearly fake because Sally's like, "Oh my god!" Like, she didn't tell him to bring flowers to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, thanks!" And she like accepts the flowers, and it was kind of like they already had all of this rehearsed. Like, she told him like, "Hey, come bring me flowers on set. Maybe I'll offer for us to go to lunch, but if I offer that, say no." And so they're doing that whole thing. And then this is the first time we see the bullet hole in the forehead. And that was kind of like, whoa. I'm sure everybody that's seen that was like, whoa, what's happening? Now, I didn't actually think that the girl had gotten shot because she was still smiling. And obviously she was still talking, but like, it was like everything went mute and all you could see was just that bleeding bullet hole. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just really like really in your face. And again, really showing where Barry is at mentally, because the fact that he's envisioning people with bullet holes in their forehead, like, what, this is completely different than the daydreams he was having in season one. Like, season one, he was daydreaming about like having a family and like his kids going off to school and like taking family pictures and like having a barbecue. And then you cut to like this, and he's thinking about people with bullet holes in their head. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I do know that it's because he's literally like descending into more madness is what it is. But I don't know why it's happening with certain people is, I guess, what I'm saying. So it happens with Sally. That's the first time we see that in the episode. And she's just talking and talking and talking. He's just looking at her like, oh my God. And so I feel like that will be a reoccurring thing probably throughout the season. Or maybe we'll probably see something like that within the next couple episodes where he's looking at people and that happens. So I don't know, but I definitely am wondering if maybe that has more significance, like if it's more than just showing that Barry is going crazy, if it maybe means that like this might be one of the people that ends up dying this season. I don't know. I'm really scared. I don't even want to put that in the universe, but I feel like one of the main characters, or there's gonna be a death this season. Like, not just him shooting random people as a hit. I just feel like oh God, I'm scared. I just feel like one of the main people is gonna die, and I don't know who. And I know a lot of people are saying like Fuchs or Kusano, but I don't know. I just feel like usually with TV shows, when it's like one person, when everybody's like, "Oh, this person is gonna die," it's usually not that person. It'll usually be somebody else, or it'll be somebody that we don't expect. So I'm just like, Lord, give me the strength to watch the season, because it's already starting off crazy. Like, seriously. So one of the things that really surprised me for this episode was that they had Kusano confronting Barry like this is the first episode of the season and he's already confronting Barry. Like, now I guess I was thinking that like, we would kind of build up to this. Maybe by like episode 3, Barry would know that Kusano knew. But no, they're like coming out, like swinging out the gate. Like, no, Kusano is confronting Barry in this episode, and there was no beating around the bush. Like, they just went straight into it, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just like, whoa, like this is intense. Like, this is what I'm saying. They're already starting off crazy. So I'm really scared to see what's gonna happen the rest of the season. And so we see like, the beforehand where Kusano is like bringing his gun, and this gun is something that like, it looks like probably something that he's had for a long time. Something that I think he got on set or something like that. I don't know. But so clearly he's planning on shooting Barry, and he goes and he texts him and he's like, "Hey, can you come to the acting class and help me like pack up?" Trying to lure him into under false pretenses. And Barry shows up having no idea that Kusuno knows and that Kusuno is going to confront him. So when he does, Barry is obviously super surprised, and he's just standing there looking, dumb. And Kusuno, it's just this really intense moment where Kusuno is like, I know you killed Moss, and you see him kind of like reach for the gun, and we're like, uh-oh, what's gonna happen? This is it. Like, he's gonna try to shoot him. And I knew, obviously I knew that Barry like wouldn't die or anything, but I just didn't know I didn't know that the gun was gonna fall apart. So that was funny, but also kind of like, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. Like, I was like, Kusuno, get out of there. I was like, you need to like get up, slowly back away, and just like act like none of that happened. But of course that didn't happen. So when I think when I saw that, I was just like, is this real? I was like, is this real? Like, I had to ask myself that. I was like, is this real? Is this real? Because I didn't think that, like I said, I didn't think that they were going to have Kusuno confronting him so early on in this, like, first episode of the season, and he's confronting him already. Now, there is a time jump from season 2 and season 3. I think I mentioned that before. It's been about 6 months, so it's not like next day and they're doing this, but still, I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't know they were going to do that. They're not playing around this season. Oh my God. Like, I'm out of breath just talking about it. But yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh shoot, cause no. I was like, dude, you messed up doing that. Like, you should have had a backup or something, like brought 2 or 3 guns. Like, this man killed your girlfriend, and this man is crazy and a hitman now. Like, one little gun? Heck no. I would have been bringing multiple weapons. I would have had backup. Like, heck no. So I was just like, oh God, like, this is too much. But again, I didn't necessarily think that, like, okay, now he's gonna die, but it was just like, I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Before I continue with that one, let's go back to Hank. Okay. So the other surprise of this episode is, this is a big spoiler, you guys, so just letting you know, click out if you don't want to hear it. Hank and Cristobal are an item. You heard it here, folks. They are a couple. They are a thing. They are boyfriend and boyfriend. Like, you might as well call them husbands, because they are living together. They are cuddling. Like, Cristobal knows what kind of tea he likes. They're talking about, buying another property. Like, what? I was so surprised by that. I don't know if you guys were, but I was genuinely surprised by that. But it was like, I'm 100% here for it. Like, it's not a bad thing at all. The only bad thing about it is that, like, with this type of show, I feel like that's not gonna last. Like, something bad is definitely going to happen. I really don't see them continuously just being happy and in a relationship by the end of the season. I would be very surprised if they make it through this whole season. But I'm just gonna enjoy it for right now. I don't even want to think about what might happen later. So I'm just like, what? Like, I know they alluded to it in season 2, but they did it in a very comedic, silly way. So I had no idea that they were really gonna go there. I know that there were some people that were, kind of wanting Hank's character to be gay or to be bisexual. And I'm not sure if there was like a big, like a lot of fans wanted him to be with Cristobal, but I know a lot of people wanted his character to be not straight, basically. And so y'all won, y'all got that, because I'm just like, I don't know. That was just a really big surprise, and I'm happy to see that. Like, I'm happy to see Hank is happy and he's choosing himself right now, and he's like, I'm just trying to like live my life, be with my man, be with my boo thing. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I love Hank so much, so I'm happy for him, and I really hope that we, get to see their relationship flourish, at least for a little while. Like, dang, don't give us that and then like completely destroy it the way you did with Moss and Kusuno, because that's really the only like happy relationship that we've gotten to see in the show so far. And that got cut short, obviously, because Moss got killed. I don't count Sally and Barry's relationship as anywhere near healthy. That is not the kind of relationship I would ever want for myself. That's not the kind of relationship you guys should ever want for yourself. Um, and so, yeah, even though they've had cute moments, but it's like, no, like definitely not. So they're not even in that category. So really the only other people is Hank and Cristobal now, even though, yes, they're mobsters and they kill people and stuff like that, but they're sweet together. I can't help it. I like seeing Hank happy with him. So that was like my favorite thing throughout this whole episode. Um, and I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad I didn't see any spoilers about that, because then I would have been like, oh, I already knew this was gonna happen. But I was sitting there like, what? Oh my God. And they didn't like I said, it wasn't like a, oh, are they or aren't they, like maybe they are. It was like he came in the house talking about babe, he hopped in the shower with him, like he had I think there was like a rose waiting there for him, like clearly they're living together and everything. I was like, I cannot deal. um and so the other scene, with, or not the other scene, but the one scene that we got in this episode between Hank and Barry, um, they're having a discussion, and Barry is like essentially begging for Hank's help, and he's just like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, I need help. I need a job, like something, like I need some type of purpose. And again, why are you going to Hank for that when you did what you did? And that's basically what Hank was saying. He was like, excuse me, sir, like you shot up the monastery, you killed my men, you did me over, like, and then you gonna come to me for help? Bye. That's what Hank said, basically. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for it. Like, again, I like seeing when Hank tells off Barry, because first of all, we really don't get to see Hank be serious that much. So when he is, I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like it's just so, I don't know. It's like fun to see him that way. Especially towards Barry, because like I said, he deserves it. So I'm glad that he told him that. I'm glad he wasn't like, okay, I'll help you, because Hank is so polite and so nice. And I feel like maybe if this was season 1 or season 2, he probably would have been like, all right, I'll help him. But he's clearly in a different space now. He's with Cristobal. He's trying to do his own thing. And he's just like, you really have the nerve to come to me for help after you did what you did. So I was like, yes, man, go off. Tell him. And then and my favorite line in this episode was, there's a part where Cristobal comes out and he doesn't know that they're talking. And I think he's asking him like, hey, what kind of tea do you want? And Hank is like, hey, can you just make me so and so? And he goes back in, and then Barry's like, oh, like you and Cristobal are an item now. And then Hank goes, yeah. So what? Are you jealous? When I tell you guys, I was clapping at that part. That was literally my favorite line throughout the whole episode. Like I had to go back and play that part because I was just living for that. Like the sassiness of Hank and him just like owning it. Like, yeah, I'm with Cristobal. What you got to say about it? Like, I love Hank so much. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I really don't want the relationship to be completely distorted like the next episode. Like, I just need to see Hank as like a boyfriend and just being like, yeah, so what? Like what you got to say? Like I just love it so much. That was everything to me. I was gagged, okay? I was gagging, and not literally gagging, like if you know, you know. But I was like, oh my God, like I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. And I need to see more of this in the next episode, quite frankly, throughout the whole season. If you can, Bill, Alec, if you're watching this, which I know you are, please let's see more of the relationship, because I just feel like that's going to be like the one, maybe like the one happy thing this season. I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of like the one thing that could kind of give fans some joy, besides, Hank as an individual character. But just seeing them together, I feel like it's going to be so fun to watch. So I'm hoping that their relationship doesn't get cut really short. Oh God. And now that I'm putting it out in the universe, I'm just like, please don't let that happen. But anyway, so that whole scene of like us finding, like the audience finding out that he's with Cristobal, and then it going to like him talking to Barry and him telling off Barry was just like my favorite thing throughout this whole episode. And like I said, I'm just so glad that Hank did that because Barry deserves it. Okay, he deserves it. I don't care. Barry apologist people, they're like, no, no, he deserved it. Okay, you cannot defend that. Um, and let's see, what was the other what was the other scene that I wanted to talk about? Again, I feel like the episode went by so fast, but then it's like so much happened in one episode that it's just like, I mean, I'm already finding it hard to keep up, and this is only episode one. So this is what I'm saying. Like, oh my gosh. Um, so before I jump into the last scene of the episode, again, I wanted to let you guys know that this podcast is sponsored by Stream Studio. You guys can go to studio.stream.com. Stream is spelled with two N's. It's STREANN. You guys could go live yourselves the way I'm doing through Facebook or through another social network. You can create content. I mean, you could do a whole bunch of things. And if you guys make content with Stream Studio or using Stream Studio, please tag me or message me, hit me up, and just be like, hey, like I took your advice and I use Stream Studio. Like I really want to see what you guys can create, what type of podcast or anything that you guys want to do. And if you end up doing something about Barry, please tag me. I would love to see that, and I would love to be a part of it. You guys obviously know how much I love the show, so yeah, if you use it, please let me know, and tag Stream as well because they are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. They're on all of the main social networks. So yeah, I hope you guys use it. But anyway, let's get into the last scene. Okay, so let's jump back to Kusino and Barry. So after that gun falls apart, Barry is like, you know, you can kind of see in his face that he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to like, you know, I'm gonna have to kill Kusino. And so the scene kind of cuts off where you see Barry getting up and you know that he's going to like, you know, do something, and we're just like, oh shoot, like what's gonna happen? And so the ending scene is they're back in that same place that we saw in the beginning, that like deserted area. It's really pretty. Like the background is really pretty, and that's where he had previously killed those other two guys, and so he's back there. So I'm assuming maybe that's like his spot now where he kills people, or maybe he just knows that like nobody's really out there, so he can get away with stuff. I don't know, but it's kind of like full circle. Like we started off the episode there, and then at the end, he's back there, but now he has Kusino on his knees and like the gun aiming at him, and he's crying. He has the nerve to be crying. Like seriously. But I know he's crying because it's like obviously he still cares for Kusino, and Kusino is somebody that I feel like he has sort of looked up to as a father figure. I feel like that was Fuchs for the longest time, and then when Kusino came around, then he kind of like replaced him in that way. So to him, it's like, oh no, I don't want to kill you, but I also don't want to get caught, so I'm gonna have to shoot you anyway. And so he's sitting there like crying, and Kusino was just like, please, like, you know, begging, like, I won't tell anybody. Um, you know, I swear on my grandson's life, like, you know, I will keep this to myself. Nobody has to know. And you know, he's kind of just saying anything he can to get out of this. And I think he said something like, you know, I forgive you. And that was definitely, I think, I guess you could say like the theme of this episode, because the episode is called Forgiving Jeff. And so Barry is like, you know, forgiveness has to be earned, which he got that line from Hank, because Hank had told him that early in the episode. And so he's like, basically like, no, like that doesn't, you can't just say, oh, I forgive you, you know, forgiveness has to be earned. And Kusino basically just says, well, earn it then. And that, like, I guess, you know, a light bulb goes off in Barry's head. And he's like, hold on, like, I have an idea. I know a way that I can make it up to you. I know how I can redeem myself. And it's this weird switch. It's like this really creepy switch. Like he goes from crying and looking miserable to looking happy. And he's like smiling at this point, and he's like, okay, like get back in the trunk. And then the episode freaking cuts off. And so I'm like, what is this boy about to do? Whatever he's thinking is probably not something good. And my theory is that, because I had some people, like other people that I know that watch the show, were asking me like, what do you think Barry's gonna do? Like, what do you think what is he thinking that's gonna, make up for the fact that he shot Kusano's girlfriend or that he killed her? What is gonna make up for that? And so in my head, I'm thinking that Barry is probably gonna get Kusano a role on Sally's show, or it'll be something pertaining to his acting career, because we know that the acting class is shut down and Kusano is not performing. He's not doing anything. All he's been doing is teaching, for the last whatever few years. So I feel like he's going to find a way to put him in the spotlight or to get him on Sally's show or something like that. And to him, he's going to be like, oh, if I can do that, then I can, earn your forgiveness, which is so stupid because that's like not even comparable. Like that's if he does that. I don't know. That's just my theory. It could be something completely different. You guys can sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think Barry is gonna do next episode. I'm laughing because I'm just like, it's probably gonna be something really dumb. It might not even be that, but what do you think Barry is gonna do for Kusno that he thinks will redeem himself, or he thinks that will earn him forgiveness? Like I said, my theory is that it has something to do with his acting career. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on Sunday. Like if you guys didn't know, because I've been saying this past 2 episodes, but I'll say it again. New episodes of Barry come out every Sunday. I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. West Coast time. It comes out on HBO and HBO Max. I've been watching it on HBO Max, so I stream it live. And it does come out on HBO Max. It does come out at the exact same time that it's on TV. So you're able to watch it live with everybody else, which is really cool. And yeah, and I love that. I love that they did that, because they easily could have been like, we're just going to put out the whole season and have people stream it. But they're like, no, you're getting 1 episode a week. And now we have to wait all the way until Sunday. But I love that because that's the way I grew up watching TV. There wasn't streaming. It wasn't binge watching a whole season in a weekend, which, I like doing that sometimes. But I feel like waiting for the next episode or having something to look forward to is so much better than kind of just watching everything all at once. And you're able to kind of like, take in everything that happened in 1 episode instead of trying to watch a whole season. And, and I feel like people, work so hard to make these TV shows, and then it's like people just watch them so quickly. So I'm really glad that they're doing it like that. I cannot wait until next weekend, you guys. I told you I was going to be, didn't I tell you I was going to be a different person when the show came out? Oh my gosh. And you guys can let me know what you thought about the episode. Did you think it was a great comeback episode? Do you feel like, was it what you expected? Was it better? Was it worse? Was there something that you wish had happened that didn't happen? What do you want to see in the next episode? Or what are your theories maybe like throughout the rest of the season? Again, if you know spoilers, do not tell me. I will block you. I do not want to hear any spoilers. I want to be surprised when I watch the episodes. So don't tell me anything. But you could just let me know like what you think is going to happen, or maybe like what you want to see happen, because I love talking to other people about the show. So don't be afraid to comment or to message me and be like, hey, let's talk about Barry, or hey girl, I want to be on your show. I want to talk about Barry. I'm like, come on in. Yeah, I think that is the last of the episode that I wanted to discuss. There's probably maybe some other things that I missed because, like I said, so much has happened in the episode. But I definitely recommend, if you guys have not seen anything from Barry, go back and watch the first season so that season 3 will make sense. Because if you just jump into season 3, it's not going to make sense. Now, you might still enjoy it, but you're not going to understand like where the, like with each character, why they're acting the way they are and everything. So definitely go back and rewatch the first 2 seasons. They are on HBO Max. You could stream them. I think you can purchase the episodes on Apple TV. I think that's where I originally started watching it, because when I watched it, the first and second season were already out. So I never got to watch it live up until now. So I'm excited about that. But if you guys watch the show because of this podcast, let me know, because I would, it makes me happy if I'm able to like recommend the show to people and, they actually watch it and they like it. So again, don't be afraid to reach out to talk to me about the show, or if you even have like questions about the show. I'm saying that as if I'm like on the show, but if there's something that happens, you're like, I don't understand this. Why did this happen? You can ask me. I've seen all the episodes. I rewatched the episodes. And yeah, again, I would love to discuss it with you guys. So just hit me up, comment, and yeah, I think we're gonna end the episode here. I will see you guys next Tuesday, as always, at 1 p.m. My episodes stream live on Facebook every week, and I will upload them to Spotify and YouTube today. So, same day that my podcast streams live, I upload them as well. So, if you're not able to watch it live, that's totally okay. You can go back and listen to my episodes. And, like I said, watch the episode first and then listen to my podcast because I pretty much just spoiled the whole first episode. So I hope that you heard me when I said that in the beginning. But anyway, I will see you guys later. I should say I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.